I love it.
Mark, I'm showing it up.
I'm not. It's got something that says, that I showed you, but that's not actually live.
We're up.
Yeah, now I see it.
All right, now we're up. You don't tell whoever's on. Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Today is Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. It is now 10:04. We're here for the regular session of the Hunt County Commissioners Court. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order and ask Commissioner Martin to lead us in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our flags. Please stand.
Shall we pray? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for allowing us to come here and take care of the community business, and as we do so, do it with patience, understanding, knowledge, and wisdom. We thank you for everything. We ask you to bless those families that have lost loved ones here recently over in Allen, and all the other, as far as in the South Texas also. We ask you to continue blessing this great nation. We continue asking you to bless this great nation. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. And all these things we ask in Lord Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor
The Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, everyone. We have Commissioner Hutchins, Monroe, Martin, and Harrison present. I'm Judge Stovall. I'll be presiding over the meeting today. Commissioners, you got the minutes from April 25th, 2023 regular session. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners, you got the minutes May 2nd, 2023 special session. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. This time we'll have public testimony. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and should conduct themselves in a civil manner. The Commissioners Court cannot take action on items not listed on the agenda in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Concerns will be addressed by county staff. They may be placed on a future agenda or addressed by some other course of response. Is anybody here? David White.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Can you hear me?
Ye-
Seems,
Can everybody hear him?
is it on? Yeah, okay, maybe it is. I can't tell.
Tilt it up a little.
Okay. Well, good morning. Thank you, Your Honor, and distinguished commissioners. We the people. What an amazing phrase. We the people. Our founding fathers used these three powerful words to begin the drafting of the Constitution of the United States. They knew that we the people are the ones who actually have the power to make change. They knew that when the people come together for a cause, there's nothing that can stop them. Well, with the help of the Lord, we the people symbolically slayed Goliath last Saturday. With the defeat of Proposition 1 and Proposition 2, Proposition 1 being defeated well, maybe not defeated, maybe it was crushed. A loud voice was said. I suspect that once the final provisional votes are counting, the Proposition 1 will have been defeated by more than 90% margin. Well, that should send a very strong message to the City of Farmersville City Council and the city manager. However, just like the Philistine army lied and did not surrender to the Israelites when Goliath was defeated, they just retreated and began to fight again. So I'm confident that the leadership of Farmersville is regrouping and preparing to make a new advance. So even though Proposition 1 was resoundingly defeated, there's a deeper-rooted issue that's going on. A somewhat famous playwright once wrote a play, and in Act 1, Scene 4, the character Marcellus makes a profound statement when he realizes there's something not right. There's something that just smells fishy. Marcellus' famous statement was, "There's something rotten in Denmark." Well, if you allow me a little bit of poetic license, I believe Shakespeare meant to say when he wrote Hamlet, "There's something foul in Farmersville." Look, I don't know the city council. I don't know the city manager, so I can't judge their hearts. I don't know what they're thinking. I can only judge their actions, just like you, right? And if we are to judge their actions, I would not find them righteous. I would find them repulsive in many ways. The actions of the city council continue to raise questions and concerns. They're attempting to purchase strategic land along the trail for whatever purposes, and they have refused to answer any of the requests for information that was sent them. In fact, each and every request that has been sent was responded by their outside counsel. They responded in every single case with a request from the Attorney General of Texas to write an opinion. Now you would think, wow, there must be some really crazy, onerous requests coming in. Could I have like
Yep. You're
15
fine.
seconds?
Yes, you're fine.
Well, that's not the case, because in that response, they are asking for an exception without stating an exact exception. Out of the hundreds of examples that come in the statute, some over 80 pages of exceptions that they don't even quote. They just say, oh, somewhere in here. So I don't know what they're trying to do, but even though the most innocuous requests were met with a law firm response, you have to ask yourself, wow, if asking for the current population of Farmersville or how you determine it is so offensive that you have to ask the AG of Texas for an opinion, there's something wrong. I'm asking this court to help us both figuratively and literally clear the air on what is going on, because there's a stench drifting into the Hunt County area from our neighbors in Farmersville. And it's not the neighbors, it's the council. And I would just ask for your support in helping us to address that. Thank you for your time.
You bet. Thanks, sir. Richard Hill.
Last week, I spoke to the Collin County Commissioners after having attended this meeting to try to determine what their stand was on this and if they had standing to do anything. And they basically told me that the Collin County has no authority to challenge annexation, cannot take back platting, has no authority over the home rule vote by the city of Farmersville. They did suggest that if we're going to challenge the home rule vote on the basis that they had 5,000 people in the city, which extended the ETJ even further, that we contact the Attorney General of Texas and ask them to investigate. And I have written a letter to the Attorney General. I've written a letter to the Governor and Angela Paxton and encourage everyone to write those three folks. Paxton for the purpose of approving and pushing Abbott to sign off on House Bill 5217 and Senate Bill 1108. The City of Farmersville is going to have a meeting tonight at 6 o'clock. Last week I spoke and basically told the city mayor that he has not told the truth at all to anyone so far. And ended with telling him shame on him and all the rest of them, so probably I won't get to speak tonight, but I've signed up yesterday to speak, and will probably hand out my speech to the folks in case I don't get called so they can read it. I encourage everyone here to attend that meeting and start attending their meetings every second and fourth Thursday, as does this court, to let them know that we're watching them. And the speech about we the people, that's right on point. We the people need to be watching them, listening to them, and making sure they see us. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Lewis.
Yes, I'm Michael Lewis from Celeste, and I've lived on that trail since 1974. But anyway, we got a notice that was like 2 weeks before the election. This is in our paper, this is in the Hunt County paper, and the notice is in here, and I want to give you this copy so y'all can read it, because I can't hardly read it. But it's a little bitty print, as small as you can get it, and we only have 2 propositions, one that we could vote on and one they could vote on over there. And it has everybody's on one page, all of Princeton stuff, or Farmersville stuff. And all we needed was one section saying what we needed to vote on. So I'd like to give you this to look at to show what kind of business they run over there. But even though it was in Farmersville, and they came into Hunt County with a ETJ, and they want to come in with a MDD to give us restrictions on what we do, along with Hunt County, we have to deal with them. So luckily, with the good people we found in Farmersville, they voted this thing down. It wasn't just us, because I have relatives over there. I have friends over there. And they have relatives over here that used to live in Farmersville. And they all got together and voted the sucker down. And I was one of many that were out there picketing at the highway, or road right there at the college, all day Saturday, and then all day this Saturday. We was out there this Saturday, and when they did the preach, we were out there. So I just want to tell you that we did it. You know, we need help from this county to keep them out of our county, because the only thing bringing them into this county is that railroad. And that railroad is the savior of Texas Park and Wildlife, I guarantee you, because I've been on it, I've been followed and taunted by it, and they know me well. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for showing up and doing what they can to get the Farmersville people to realize their leaders are not leaders. But anyway, that's all I have.
Thanks, sir.
Judge, he asked me a while ago, he says, can I talk?
Chris Bernard.
Hey, good morning, Chris Bernard, Celeste, Texas. Again, I want to thank the Commissioners Court and everybody in supporting, trying to understand the facts up to this point. And, you know, again, as been said, made a lot of progress in the last couple of weeks. I would highly encourage to what's, again, already been said, we don't need to turn our attention away from this issue because I think it's going to be more problems down the road. And so, again, I would highly encourage us to look at the efforts of the annexation. Was it legitimate or not? And again, this is not an issue of the people of Farmersville. This is an issue of some people that chose to make that decision to move forward. And again, I think it's important, you know, we talk about it in a reasonable manner, you know, to get something actually accomplished. So again, if we'll please continue to keep this in our thought process moving forward so we can get something accomplished. Again, people want to, I've heard the deal about people getting letters to purchase their land along the trail, and my concern is if they don't sell, could it be used as a public use issue? And then you could have eminent domain. And that would never have been the intention of this trail, for eminent domain to come about related to that. So is that a possibility? I don't know. But at the same time, I think it's really important that that doesn't impact us out here. So again, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chris. Jason Krug.
Morning, Your Honor. Commissioners, thank you. I'm here to petition the court today for basic water ordinance in the county. I've done diligence over the last handful of years to try to understand water code in the state of Texas and water code that's not enforced in Hunt County. 10 years ago, I built my home, 2013 of May. I watched the builder come in and build probably 15 to 18 homes after mine. Every time they build a home, they just shift the water around the development, around the plotted land, if you will. The last 4 years has been a battle with neighbors among the community, from the neighbors behind us going out and burying the drainage ditch with a 4-foot berm so the water would no longer continue downhill on its path. We had to go out and dig it out. That was a community argument then. Every year since then, it has been a street argument with standing surface water being diverted and discharged and pumped to our street. Every spring, this is happening by 4 to 6 pumps and pumping water to our road. Our road is 2016. Or 2006. It was built. It's concrete. It's a very nice road. Hunt County's got probably, I don't know, 100,000 miles in roads, and 30,000 miles of those roads need to be fixed or repaired in some form or fashion. I believe that the discharge and displacement of surface water from properties onto a county road should never be an option, and it should be enforced because the damage is happening to our community property. We have individuals taking personal problems on land and property that they have bought and turning this into a community problem, pumping water and acting county officials to come out and act on land that they bought to help with their water problems. The state of Texas has Texas Administration Code, I believe, 26 and 27, chapters 26, 27. It clearly defines who's responsible for enforcing the water diversions of surface water, who's enforcing the permitting of surface water to be diverted. I believe after speaking with David Jones last week, there's 31 different soils in Hunt County, and all of them are flood type soils. As this county begins to grow and we have individuals buying land and developers coming in and buying land, this problem's going to grow. I may be the only one in the county that's vocal about this problem, but I know that these people that are pumping the water to my road, creating this community problem, is probably taking place everywhere, because the selfish act of man only cares about themselves in the event of a problem. They will not own up to the responsibility that they bought the property, that they themselves didn't do diligence to figure out where the land was purchased, how close to flood property. As a contractor and a real estate investor, the first thing I do when I'm looking at property is I reach out to the county. I look to see if we're in floodplains. What I'm going to have to do, if I'm going to have to work with FEMA for foundations, if I go to separate land up. Most people do not understand your basics of water, and it can't become a community problem for their own ignorance. And I would request the courts to look at putting forth in basic code enforcement abilities, so we don't continue to struggle as Hunt County grows over the next 10 to 15 years. The only place anybody has to go anymore is east. Everything's developed from the city of Dallas for an hour and a half, every direction except for to Greenville. As this market grows, we're going to have builders and individuals doing whatever they think they want with water under the pretense that nobody can enforce anything because it's a civil matter. And this is not a civil matter when it becomes pumping water and moving water from where God intended the water to land, lay, and follow a path. I believe the county has basic responsibilities to shut it down, offer permitting. If you want to pump surface water, you come to the county with a plan. We offer you a permit, and then if that's the case, then it is permitted to be. I can't even change a roof in the city of Greenville that would affect no one other than the homeowner without a permit. I don't think you should be able to.
You need to wrap it up right
Yes,
quick.
sir. I don't believe pumping, hundreds of thousands of gallons of water per year to county roads is something that should be happening without a permit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, old business, action item 1, is Gary Scott here, or a representative? He's not here, okay. We'll go on to new business. Commissioners, you have the consent calendar in front of you. Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of accounts payable.
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of line item transfers.
Make a motion to approve line item transfers.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of budget amendments.
Make a motion to approve budget amendments.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of payroll and personnel.
Make a motion to approve payroll and personnel. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 1, the quarterly report of the Hunt County Fire Association. I didn't see Ryan. Here's Ryan.
Robert's back.
Robert, okay.
I told him we were gonna grill him real bad since he's having to do it, not Ryan.
Morning. Ryan had a family emergency this morning. He was on his way to Lubbock earlier, so I got pulled into this at the last.
No problem.
So on the left-hand side of the column, you can see all the run calls for the quarter for the departments. Southern part of the county's been pretty active this past quarter, like it generally is. There's only a few departments on here that had issues with making calls. It was due to staffing issues around their areas. They're working on resolving that. The neighboring departments stepped up, covered down on them like it should be, so everything's going pretty good. Lone Oak did put in a new heavy brush truck. They will have it in service probably within the next month. They'll have it in service probably within the next month. They've been working over the past couple of weeks. It was a truck that was given to them from the Forestry Service. It's an old LMTV from the military. I saw it last night after a call we had, stopped by their station. They showed it to me. It's very nice. They've done a very good job with it. It's going to serve the community well. Also, Ryan wanted me to touch bases with you over the events a couple of months ago with the weather systems that set in place, and it flooded a lot of areas over there around 30, as it normally does. The rainfall was a little bit heavier, came in a little bit quicker. We started running calls between Roy City, Cattle Mills, and the Cache area earlier that morning on high water rescue calls. Got several individuals out of the water. We did have one critical incident that morning, or mid-morning, that resulted in a fatality off the side service road of 30.
Was it only at 1565, or was it also at another?
It was in various areas, Judge.
Okay.
It was, all the way from around the 1903 area, past 1565, on the north and southbound service
Okay.
roads, approaching the actual interstate itself. TxDOT was notified earlier that morning when we first started conducting rescue operations due to the flooding. They were slow to respond due to them being busy in other areas of the county. Later on that morning, later on that afternoon, barricades were put into place after the event unfolded. That was a critical event on the side of 30. It resulted in a fatality. We were able to get the UPS driver out of the water. Prior to the UPS driver getting in the water, he did have video evidence of another vehicle being submerged. We did recover that vehicle and that individual the next morning, found him in about 20 foot of water on the South Service Road in the drainage area. Since then, we have talked with TxDOT. It's been Roy City PD, Fire Department, I believe it was DPS that was out with us, Cattle Mills, and Cache FD, and Greenville. We've all met with TxDOT and came up with a plan that in the future, when weather patterns are going to be set into place, and we know about it several days out, they're going to be pre-staging cones and other barricade material and equipment in the affected areas that's normally going to flood, so that in the event that they are busy in the county and other areas, the fire department or local law enforcement can go ahead and temporarily shut down the road to prevent something like this from happening in the future.
Good.
They have other plans in the works. That's probably going to be a little bit long-term out. And that's what we pretty much all I had to deliver this morning.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
We do have everybody's report in this time, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
David,
sir.
we got, everything went good this time? Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. Just so the public knows that, the state, those frontage roads do flood, and the public needs to be careful when they're driving in that area with a bad weather event. It will be eventually fixed, as most of you know. They've started construction on I-30 now at the 1570 bridge and 1903, and eventually, in the next 12 to 24 months, they'll be having interchange being rebuilt so that we'll have one-way frontage roads coming through all of Hunt County to Greenville. When that happens, those bridges will be raised, and that will alleviate that problem. So we got to wait a little while, but it is in the works, and it's been worked on and designed and soon to be fixed, we hope. So thank you for that report. Entertain motion for approval of the report.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 2, the proclamation of Mental Illness and Awareness Month, May of 2023. Calvin, you want to read it? You want me to, or whatever?
Judge, can I have Nikki Haynes, the president, read it?
Absolutely. Whoever wants to, come on up, Nikki. Be happy. Whoever wants to read it.
Judge Stovall, can I give a brief introduction to the board?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Commissioners. Hey, a year ago, we got here. Everybody knows, I think, that May is Mental Health Awareness Month in this country. And last year, we did a proclamation. I want the people of Hunt County to know that we have taken a lot of steps to advance the ball from last May. The county took a significant commitment by funding some full-time positions with the Sheriff's Department for mental health officers and providing LPC social worker care in the jail. We have also, starting in January of this year, formed a nonprofit behavioral health leadership team, which we hadn't had before in this county. And most of the board members are here this morning and the president, Nikki Haynes, from the hospital, will read the proclamation, but we've made a lot of progress. We are doing our first fundraiser in a few weeks, but before we even have the fundraiser, we've raised enough money to put up signs this afternoon all around Hunt County. That was a suggestion by somebody on the court to do that this year, and so we are going to take a step outside of the courtroom to advertise the mental health awareness in this county by putting up green signs, about 75 of them, all throughout the county this afternoon. But this morning, I'd asked the board members to step
Why don't you talk about the fundraiser?
Okay, thanks, Judge. I will. So we have a golf tournament at Deer Run on May 19th at 8 o'clock. It's a shotgun start, 4-person scramble team. We still have about 7 slots left. We really want to sell the event out. We are donating the proceeds that are raised from this golf event to FISH, or Shared Ministries. Everybody's familiar with them. They're a well-known local nonprofit. They feed the homeless. We are specifically asking them to take care of their clientels that have suffered from a mental illness, because our mission statement is specifically to direct people to the resources that we have available in this county to provide mental health treatment, behavioral health services. So we're going to give the money to FISH this first year so they can have some extra funding to help with their clients that suffer from some type of mental illness. And so if you want to register for the golf tournament, you can go on the website, which is up and running. It's www.hcbhlt.org. Again, that's www.hcbhlt.org. And like I said, we have about 7 slots left available for the golf tournament.
That's great.
Calvin, would you please have your board members stand up?
Yes, Judge. Yes, Mr. Martin. Can I have the board members actually come up? I've got Janet Campbell from the jail. She's the jail nurse. Buddy Oxford, Nobi Walker, the district attorney, Jennifer Hubner from Glen Oaks, Jack Malloy from Greenville Police Department, and then Nikki Haynes is our board president. She's here to read the proclamation.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you to the Commissioners Court for allowing us to be here today and to read the Mental Health Awareness Proclamation and designating May the Mental Health Awareness Month here in Hunt County. I'm proud to be here with our board members. As you could see, we've got Mr. Jack Malloy, like Calvin said, with the Greenville Police Department. He serves as our chair, our treasurer. Ms. Jana Campbell is a board trustee. Ms. Jennifer Hubner with Glen Oaks is a board trustee. Mr. Nobi Walker, our Hunt County District Attorney, is a board trustee. And Mr. Calvin Grogan is a board trustee, our Hunt County attorney. Ms. Sarah Steves, our assistant county attorney, could not be present with us here today, but she does serve as our vice president. So we'll read the proclamation. Whereas mental health is part of overall health, and whereas 1 in 5 adults experience a mental health problem in any given year, and whereas approximately 1/2 of chronic mental illness begins at the age of 14 and 3/4 by age 24, and whereas suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States and the 2nd leading cause among young adults, and 90% of people who die by suicide had shown symptoms of mental health condition, according to interviews with family, friends, and medical professionals. And whereas long delays, sometimes decades, often occur between the time symptoms first appear and when individuals get help. And whereas early identification and treatment can make a difference in successful management of mental illness and recovery. And whereas it is important to maintain mental health and learn the symptoms of mental illness in order to get help when it is needed. And whereas every citizen and community can make a difference in helping end the silence and stigma that for too long has surrounded mental illness and discouraged people from getting help. And whereas public education and civic activities can encourage mental health and help improve the lives of individuals and families affected by mental health. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that May 2023 be declared Mental Illness Awareness Month in Hunt County, Texas, to shine a light on mental illness and fight stigma, provide support, educate the public, and advocate for equal care. An official witness whereof, this 9th day of May, 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. I'd just like to say that, I think we all know mental health may be the largest crisis in America today. There's so many people that are affected, and it affects our society in such a terrible way. And I'm really encouraged by not only the actions of this group, but A&M Commerce had a meeting a month or so ago, and what was 150 people there probably, to tackle this problem of mental health. And A&M Commerce, I believe, is stepping up and saying it's their region, and they're going to work in the region to help with the education of mental health workers so that we can have more of them available to all of those in our region, as well as providing counseling and services at the university, if I understood what all went. I don't think that any of us can take this problem lightly. It is a serious problem. We all probably have somebody we know or love that has a problem. So thank y'all. Sure.
I just wanted to kind of add to that, and I want, on behalf of our BHLT, express our extreme gratitude to the overwhelming support that we have received from the Commissioners Court and from our community members. Just want to shine some light on some of our members and our supporters. Up till today, we've got representation from Angels Care Home Health here with us today. Misty Little with 3FP. She does have a nonprofit organization, fiercely fighting fentanyl poisoning. So we have connected with her and working on providing education out to our school districts and our community members, the dangers of fentanyl overdose. We have Ms. Rose with ICT, Independent Care of Texas. We have Ms. Mary Shockley with A&M Commerce Texas Ag Life. Mr. Rod Ryder with MHMR, Lakes Regional MHMR. Mr. Sheriff Terry Jones, Mr. Chief Deputy Bugbee Oxford, Hunt Regional Medical Center District, Cadenhead Commercial, Castle Rock Custom Builders, Glen Oaks Hospital, NIPA, which is our North Texas Behavioral Health Authority. That is our local behavioral and mental health authority here in Hunt County that does provide services to our unfunded and Medicaid population. Ms. Jessica McDonald and Associates, the law offices of Renshaw and Ferguson, Marin Law Office, and Discount Will and Tire are just some of the local businesses and organizations that have supported us in more ways than we can count. So again, want to say thank you to all of our support that we've received.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just a second. And I'd like to, y'all don't know this, Sheriff and I went to Dallas yesterday and met with Recovery Resources that was introduced at the fentanyl event. And Nikki, I gave my literature to Dr. Pierce last night with a business card for him to make contact because they need some information from the hospital, and they're going to start providing counseling and support in Hunt County. So get with him and poke him and make sure that gets moved along, because that's after that event, I believe at the event, they announced they were looking for another county, and we got an appointment, went over there yesterday. So looks like that's going to work out. So that's good. So thank y'all. You want a picture of the... Y'all want just y'all in the courtroom, or you want us to come?
I want the commissioners in the...
Okay. I think you wanted us to ruin the picture. No, I'll get in the back. The blue crew can go.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Good. All right, Commissioners, I entertain a motion to approve action item number 2.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. All right, action number 3, the Treasury's monthly report for March 2023. Yeah, Brittany's here. I thought I saw you.
Good morning. In your package, you will have the Treasurer's Report for month end, March 31, 2023. All of the bank statements have been, and reconciliations have been balanced with the Auditor's General Ledger. Everything is balanced and good. We have a month-end balance of March 31, 2023 of $83,536.12.70. And just to add, just notable in the month of March, we did pay off one of our outstanding debt items for the excavator from Cat Financial that we were paying that. We paid that final payment on that, so that is no longer there, will be no longer there in the month of April. Also, we are On most of that, 83 million, we've got it invested, and we're making close to 5% on all of our money, which is fantastic, and a good return for our public funds. So those are just a few of the notable items for March. If you have any questions.
Commissioners, any questions? Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Action item number 4, per Attorney General guidelines, request for the County Auditor's Office to conduct the audit of the fiscal year 2022, Chapter 59 State Asset Forfeiture Report for the Hunt County Constable's Office, Precinct 4. Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 5, the ratification and approval of the lease amendment with the State of Texas for floors 4 through 7 of the Exchange Building. Daniel?
All right, this is coming back before court, but this is the same one that was approved a long time ago. But there were some, when Chris went over there to start their renovations, there were several different things that needed to change that hadn't been made clear before the work was set to start. Those things cost about $20,000. The comptroller, or the Facilities Commission agreed to have us to add that $20,000 to the amortized amount. And so this is back before, and the work's already begun. This is back before the court basically to approve the new 5-year lease extension that has that $20,000 additional amortized amount. So.
All right. Any questions?
Daniel, what, this commission to Avison Young Dallas LLC,
That's a different one.
it's a different, okay.
Yeah, so today, there's going to be things that you can potentially approve that will lease 6 floors of the building. The one that's in front of you now is floors 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's with the Facilities Commission. The one that you're talking about, we need to discuss in executive session first, but that's with the
COG.
COG.
Okay, so we're looking at this
Yeah.
access, easement, and maintenance, this one. Just trying to make sure I'm looking at the right one. Sorry, the lease renewal,
It's the one with the state seal at the top.
this one, okay, thank you. No questions about that.
Yeah, so the new amounts will be, they're listed on the right-hand side. That's basically the only change, though.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any questions? Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved?
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 6, the agreement with comptroller to enter into a 126-month payback period for overall sales and use tax starting October 2023. Daniel?
Okay, this is another in the series of, we've had 3 payback agreements for sales and use tax over the past 10 years or so. This is another $300,000. What the county still owes on those previous ones is also listed in their one-page agreement letter. It's $1.13 million. This is a 126-month, so 10 and a half years to pay back that $300,000. The longer period is best here because the state does not charge interest on that payback. And so this is a one-page agreement, should be in your packets. This is a good deal and should, in my advice, would be to approve that and allow Judge Stovall to sign that and send it back.
I want to thank y'all for y'all's work on this. Appreciate y'all.
Just so the public knows, you might tell them exactly how this has been occurring and why we're paying it back.
Yes, this is sales and use tax for a local company. The comptroller, due to privacy reasons, will not tell us and can't tell us legally which group that is. However, due to the size of it, we think we know who it is. We talked to them and have identified what the problem is, which was an accidental double payment of taxation. That's what caused all 4 of these. That problem's been addressed now, and other than previous issues that have already occurred and haven't been the subject of a finalized audit and repayment agreement, issue shouldn't happen moving forward into the future. This
When
will
they were
bring-
audited, they got money back that they had paid in, which the state had then paid us, so now we gotta pay the state back, is what's happening.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, Commissioners, any questions? Entertain a motion for approval?
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 7. Public hearing and discussion, consider approval of the application for cancellation of the Marabella subdivision on Hunt County Road 1042 in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 232.008C. Notice has been published at least 3 weeks prior to the hearing as required. Daniel?
This is, in order to cancel a subdivision, there's different requirements that have to be met once the subdivision's initially approved by the Commissioners Court. This owner requested that that be done. The notice was published, and now it's here for a vote today.
Okay. This time I'll open it up to a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this item, please step forward and state your name and address. Is anybody online, Daniel? Make sure. All right, being none, I'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second, any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action number 8, after public hearing and discussion, consider approval of the Texas Abatement Agreement between Hunt County, Texas and Farmers Electric Co-op, Inc., Tax Abatement Agreement. Pursuant to the requirements of Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code and the guidelines and criteria for tax abatement and a reinvestment zone created in Hunt County and setting an effective date, FEC intends to expand its Greenville, Texas headquarters located at 2000 East I-30 to accommodate the current and future region-wide growth in its service area. The expansion will include additional operations buildings, warehouses, repair shops, and a new corporate headquarters building with an estimated $35 million investments over the next 2 years. Daniel?
All right, this is, we've discussed this very extensively, and we have the Board of Development here and several people with the FEC who will talk to you and answer any questions that you've got. But this is the one that's been discussed for several months in a row. This was a joint effort between Hunt County and the City of Greenville. At the last City Council meeting, they adopted a new zone out there east on I-30 where FEC is currently. Tonight, City's going to be doing a similar tax abatement agreement. As we discussed, this is a 10-year, 50% agreement on the multiple millions of dollars that are going to be spent out there. This is almost identical to all of the tax abatement agreements that we've done over the past 10 years. I worked with their attorney and made sure everything that was correct in here. The packet that I gave you is the first 8 pages. There's also some exhibits, but they would have been many, many other pages. But if you approve this today, this will give them, on the county tax portion, only 10-year, 50% abatement.
On new property?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Not on the existing.
No existing, just on new property.
And so they're, Greg, do you want to come up and talk?
Do I need to have the public hearing first or have everybody speak? Either or. Come ahead, Greg. I just wanted to make sure legally I was
Sure,
okay.
absolutely. Thanks, Judge, and thanks, Commissioners, for working on this project with us. Just to let you know some history, the Greenville Board of Development started working on this prior to actually the fall last year. And we reviewed it. They came and made a presentation. We reviewed it with our Greenville Board of Development members on February 9th. On February 9th, they approved unanimously, our board approved these incentive requests to the county and to the city. Then on February 16th, we, by our bylaws, we have to call a reinvestment zone advisory committee, which is made up of all the taxing jurisdictions. Their leaders met at our offices, and they all unanimously agreed to recommend the incentive request to both the city and the county. And then on April 11th, as you heard from Daniel, the city council approved the zone, which notifies all the taxing jurisdictions that there is a pending incentive for tax abatement. So the board felt like this is a great project. It's really a project for keeping and maintaining a company here for the future, as we would do with any other company we've got in our industrial district. We've done these before with other industrial companies out there, and I think it's going to be a big improvement to the east side of Hunt County there in Greenville. And I appreciate your support on this, and if there are any questions, happy to answer them. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Greg. Any questions?
I'd like to say this, I want to thank y'all for what y'all have done, and it's been a pleasure working with FEC all these years.
All right, FEC got any comments, or you don't have to? You just, okay, all right, let's get the public hearing out of the way then. All right, at this time, I'm going to open the meeting up to a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this topic, please come forward. Nobody online, Daniel?
No, there's not.
Okay. Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, you got any questions of any of the parties, FEC or Greg? Being none, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all. Action number 9, formal bid number 235-23, all hauling 12-month contract effective May 13th, 2023 through May 12th, 2024. The Purchase Department recommends awarding CKJ Transport of North Texas for bid tabulation award. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 12, the county judge's office filing a claim with the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts for unclaimed capital credits pursuant to local government code 381, Texas Property Code 74602. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 11, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities which will be in the right-of-way of County Road 2546 and Precinct 2.
I make a motion we allow this construction under normal stipulation.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 12, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities which will be in right-of-way of County Road 2708 and Precinct 2.
I make a motion we approve this construction under normal stipulation.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 13, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities which will be in the right-of-way of County Road 3111 in Precinct 3.
I make a motion we allow this construction with the normal stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 14, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities which will be in the right-of-way of County Road 4220 in Precinct 4.
Make a motion to approve under normal stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 15, the approval of lease amendment with State of Texas for floors 2 through 3 of the Exchange Building. Daniel?
All right, that's a one-page document that I sent you earlier this morning. I think there may be some questions on that we should discuss in executive session.
Okay, so you want to wait until afterwards? Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll skip till after executive session. Approval of access and use agreements related to radio tower on land owned by Community Combined Consumers Special Utility District. Daniel?
Yes, and this, we do not have the CCSUD document finalized yet. Their meeting is coming up, I think, later this week. We do have the other access agreement, but would need to go into executive session.
Discuss that in two, okay.
Yeah.
Let's skip 15 and 16 till after executive session. Anything else before the court today? I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session under items 1 through 4.
Move.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We'll go into executive session at 10:57. All right, let's see if we can get it back up. Cross your fingers.
We're live, Judge.
All right, it is 12:08, and we're back in regular session. Action item 15, approval of lease amendment with the state of Texas for Floors 2. That's not with the state, that's with COG, isn't it, Daniel?
That's correct. That needs to be corrected.
That needs to say with North Central Council of Governments for Floors 2 and 3 of the Exchange Building. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. We're going to move item 16 to old business for next meeting, and Daniel, you want to brief us on the Farmersville?
Yes, since last court, obviously, I'm sure everybody saw and heard today that the MDD election failed. I've had 3 different meetings with the county attorney and the district attorney to go over many of the comments that we've got, some of which have been gone over a little bit here today, but all the things that you received at the last court session and numerous other emails that I've received from other people in the community. We had a meeting set up with one of the Farmersville officials to discuss that yesterday at 10, and on Friday I sent them a list of basically about a 2.5-page list of a summary of all those issues that we wanted to discuss. After I sent that over, they declined to meet with us and cancel the meeting. However, I have been back in touch with their attorney, and we're going to talk later today about some of these issues. Basically, the county attorney and the district attorney, before they can take any action, they have to figure out if they can take action, and that's going to require getting the rest of those documents that we're looking for, and getting the documents that have been requested by other people through the public information process. Obviously, today there was a handout of some letters that Farmersville sent out, a 10-day letter basically saying that they're going to object to those to some of those documents being released. Then they're going to follow that up with an additional letter that explains which documents and why. But long story short, as we stand here right at this moment, it's not clear whether Calvin and Nobe can take any sort of action on the annexation, or whether they should. And there's other issues related to that, like 2 years ago, Commissioner Hutchins sent me a reference to a meeting that we had in February 2 years ago related to one of those grant applications that the county signed off on. And there was some of the questions I sent over to Farmersville Friday related to that as well. So I suspect that 2 weeks from now we're going to have most of that documentation that's relevant here, and we'll come back to the court. Right now, my position on the county's ability to do anything about this, the annexation, at least this board voting to do anything, is that I don't think that the Commissioners Court has direct authority to do that because of a standing issue. That, like I said 2 weeks ago, that could change depending on what we find out. But we don't have enough information as we sit here today to know what direction that's going to head. We suspect that we will 2 weeks from now. So, but basically, there's not any sort of action. I mean, this was, I'm giving you this update, but there's not really any action to take. I don't think that there is anything that the Commissioners Court can necessarily do at this point.
But we'll continue to research it and get the documents, and once we get the documents where we can make a decision, then we'll do what we can do.
Yes, that's correct. And that still may come down to elected officials other than the ones in this room being the ones who can do it, something. But those decisions can't really be made until we have the rest of those documents.
Okay. All right. Commissioners, you got any questions? Y'all waited patiently. Y'all have any questions?
Was there anything we can do, because I wrote the Attorney General, is there anything specific we should individually write in a letter with AG in Hunt County to get this information and to get the public records that we requested, harmlessly released?
Not really, because the process that you're going through, the Public Information Act, I mean, that gives the city an opportunity to, tell the Attorney General why certain records shouldn't be released. They haven't even done that yet. Once they do, then the requesters will have the opportunity to send in an argument as to why they disagree. But the Attorney General will take 2 to 4 months to come back with a decision, usually on that. And they have a department of people, a huge room of lawyers that's their whole job, is to look at those requests and exceptions. Yeah. They don't often, yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right. The Public Information Act doesn't require governments to answer questions, like interrogatory style questions is what we call those. That's not required. It's only required that they send documents that are responsive to those questions. And so I answer many hundreds of those per year for lots of governments. That's always a hard thing, is when somebody just asks a bunch of questions. Because the way that we handle it is the way the AG says to handle it, which is to read that expansively and give documents that answer those. But it remains to be seen how that's going to be handled here. I mean, there's until we get those documents or understand that they don't exist, it's not clear whether the county or the county attorney or the district attorney has any ability to do anything about the annexation. And if they do, who has the ability and what should happen then? Those are decisions that just cannot be made in a vacuum until those documents are received. But I don't think that there's anything that, I mean, more than what you are already doing that would have any impact on that decision from the county or the district attorney.
Just thinking we could flood the city of Farmersville with
Well, I can't give you legal advice.
Push comes to shove, I'm still shoving, but you are going to keep pushing to try and get that information, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get that information.
What about the $1 million that y'all, the $1 million grant that they put in their newspaper that y'all approved?
That was approved. The county approved at least the support of it in February 2021. And so that is one of the issues that we're reviewing right now. I stood up here and told the court 2.5 years ago that would require a interlocal agreement. That interlocal agreement was never done, and so we don't know the current status of that, but that is something that we're looking into. We don't know the answer to that question yet.
We're looking at it, so.
Yeah.
Just a quick question, not legal advice. In your opinion, of all of those things that you responded, how many of those have you actually referred to the AG of Texas because it asked for a population or something of that nature? Very, very innocuous, should be public record, et cetera. Have you?
Well, as far as you're talking about, as far as counting the population for the vote to move from a Class A municipality to a home rule, is that what you're talking about?
Or just in the population
yeah.
numbers of Farmersville or any city?
Well, frankly, after, I've probably answered 10,000 public information requests. I've never actually received one that asked anything like that. I do know that happened to another government that was incorporated in Hunt County, and that people asked for that, and because there was a question about whether they meet the requirements or met the requirements for annex or for incorporation. But that, I think was answered and that was given. But I don't know. I mean, it kind of depends on the question. You can't just look at how innocuous information looks and make a decision from there. It's a little more complicated than that, but it's. I mean, I can't really answer your question because I've never received one like that.
I have a question to that. Does the U.S. Census Bureau keep track of population in the city when they do the Census Bureau, or is that, here's the city plus all the people in the ETJ? I guess I would go to the higher up. I mean, where is the, I know they can't keep track of the population on a daily basis. But
Yeah.
it would be city people, not ETJ people.
Well, the Census Bureau actually keeps up with both of those, everything that you're asking for. My understanding is that the incorporation in Farmersville had some estimated numbers from tap connections, utility connections.
And our city are all out of the ETJ. When we estimate the population,
Yeah.
they go, oh, we have this many people now, so we can get things ready for the school districts, so they know how many people are going to be coming in, and, because
Yeah.
we're building a lot of stuff in Josephine. And so they're estimating our population on what's there now, but a lot of that's in the ETJ, not in our city. And so.
But you're talking about for the ISD?
Well, for anything.
Well, the ISD is dramatically different from, because it's different geographic areas and different requirements. But that issue about whether Farmersville's move from a Class A to a home rule was appropriate is something that this county wouldn't get involved in at all, because that's in a different county. And, I mean, there's no standing for the county to do anything even if they wanted to. But I also, I see, in fact, the very last incorporation that happened here in Hunt County was Poetry, and they did the same thing. And so we had to research on behalf of the county whether or not that was an appropriate way to do that, and it is. It is a legal way to do that. So I don't have any reason to question whether, I mean, I haven't seen anything that Farmersville did, along those lines that was inappropriate, but I haven't, seen all the documents. To the extent I do, I'm not going to review those because that's not anything that I would be advising the county on.
All right. Well, thank y'all, and thank y'all for working hard on it, and we're trying to help as best we can, and we.
Thank you, and if you guys are slow learners, I will vote for you next election.
Well, that'll be a given then. We got to vote. All right. Commissioners, anything else before your court today? I think we addressed everything coming out of executive session. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? We're adjourned at 12:21.
I use that word methodology.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I've
been working on it for.
I know you have. Bless your heart, boys.
Mark, hang on.
Hey, Judge.
Yeah, make sure he signs.
Yeah.